This is your shallow end skimmer, and this is your deep end skimmer, and this one's the main drain. So when you're vacuuming, depending on which skimmer you're hooked into, let's say you're hooked into the deep end skimmer. Before you shut any of these, go ahead and hook the hose into the skimmer. Make sure that the sweep head's at the bottom of the pool before you do that, because then it'll just suck air. So put the hose on the sweep head on the pole, put that in the deep end. Then hook the hose into that skimmer. Then this pump will start to suck a little air that's in the hose into the pump. Just let it run until it looks like this, where it's primed up again.
Okay, but
Don't do any of this yet.
don't do that yet.
Yep.
Okay.
So let the system work the air out of that hose.
Okay.
Then once the air is out of it, then if you're hooked into the deep end skimmer, you can shut the shallow end skimmer. Wherever this is pointing, that's off. So you'll shut the shallow end skimmer, that's off, and then you'll turn down the main drain a little bit, but not all the way off. That way it still has another source of water. So let's say you just do it, like 3/4 of the way shut. And then now it's mostly drawing from this pipe, which is where the sweeper's hooked.
Okay.
So that'll give you the suction you need to sweep your pool. And then once you're done sweeping, just open this back up, open that back up, and then you're able to remove the hose in the vacuum head without pushing too much air through the pump. That's pretty much it. So do you have your sweep hose over
Yeah,
there?
I've got it all set up.
Okay.
I'm going to go take a look because I learned the first 2 times after it did that, right after we got
Dad.
Thing. Or on the sweep head. Okay. And then we'll get this at the bottom of the pool.
Now, do you want that all done before it gets hooked to this?
Yes. And before we hook that, and then what I'm going to show you is there's a way, it's called drowning your hose.
Okay.
And it's a way to get most of the air out. That way,
Make sure you've got it on the cord.
that way when we do try to suck the rest of the air out of the hose, there's not so much of it.
And normally what I'll do is I'll put it on the sidewall jet
Mm-hmm.
and just trying to push the water
So
through.
how does this lock somehow?
Yeah, it's just twist lock.
Yeah, I do.
It should be clockwise facing this end will lock it, and towards you unlocks it.
Oh, okay. I was twisting this thing. Okay. So excuse me, sweetie. We'll put this at the bottom.
It's going down. Jenny, it's
And
going
then
down.
Nate, if you want to hold this, just so it doesn't slide into the pool.
Jenny.
And then there's a way
It's
called
going down
drowning your
here.
hose, and I'll show you what that is. And all that means is that you're just going to fill up this hose with as much water as you can before we try to hook it into the skin. So what you do there is you just make sure he stays under the water, and then as that, I'm going to start forcing the hose down, and you'll see some of the air coming out.
Okay.
So it's easiest if you just lay on the back, hold him under, and see that air? So as you do that, you just keep forcing this down.
Yeah, I'm not so close to the edge of Mom's phone. Back up.
And then as you keep forcing this down, the air will want to come out of this instead of out of the
Okay.
bottom of the hose. And you're not going to get it all out, but if you can get most of it,
Keep it out of that new line.
that's better than nothing. Okay. So we got a good chunk of it. And you can pull it back. It's going to flow. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, Jenny, can I come ring your doorbell again once I'm done?
Then
Can I ring your doorbell once I'm done?
let's get a good amount.
Okay.
Pull that out. And then you put this on first.
So it keeps them up over the edge instead of just going through there. Okay.
And so this is your defense.
Well, they've always had us.
Go through the mouth of it. See, certain skimmers are different. that on there. Now, we'll go towards the equipment. So that's your deep bin skimmer, so just hang on to that, right?
Still recording? Okay, can you get up at all that was locked?
That's fine, we can get through here. No big deal. Alright.
Keep it steady, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Ginny. This is Ginny, peoples. Okay, so I was trying to share that. Okay. Gotta go.
So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna shut down to just the deep bin skimmer and see if we can't get the rest of the air out of it.
Okay. And focus the camera so you can see everything right here.
It's cool.
Alright. So it looks like it might have already sucked all the air out.
It's nice and cool.
And then the main drain, you don't want to shut it all the way off. You just want to shut enough of it to where it's only wanting to draw from that line.
Okay. It's about a 45-degree angle or so.
Yeah. And you might see some air coming in there. But shouldn't be enough to shut the pump off. And the only thing that shuts the pump off is if you slam these shut, then it can only draw from that line. If it draws a chunk of water, there, see there's. So once you see the air, just give it some more main drain. Let it work that air out of the system.
I just try to make sure that stays under the water.
You can do it, extend the pole all the way out, push it to the far end of the pool, and then use the handle to kind of catch the deck, and then it'll stay in there. So he's probably going to start getting some suction here soon. So there's most of the air's out. So we want to try to get as much as possible. You might not be able to get all of it out, but as much as possible.
So what I'm hoping to see is like nice smooth water in there.
But when it's trying to draw from, because it's going through that hose and that hose is all curly and stuff, you might see some cavitation like that, but that's not a big deal as long as it's still running, then it's good. Okay. And you can hear it too. You know what I mean? You can hear that air getting sucked out. So now we're looking pretty good. So we'll shut this down a little bit more. And then if you see it start gulping a bunch of air, just open it back up a little bit. Okay. So now he should just barely be able to move that because it's sucking to the pool. So we'll go over to that side, back to that side, and make sure that it's vacuuming again. And then you'll get a feel of what it should feel like when you're cleaning. It's sucking to the bottom of the pool. That is kind of hard to roll. Not really, but it is a liner too, so it's a little smoother than the concrete.
Gate.
There you go. Okay. Now you're back in.
Like the power unit went out for our power, so I haven't been able to clean my pit stuff.
So I'll try to suck up these little beads. Try not to run it over the main drains. Oh
Okay.
yeah, that's good. But yeah, try not to run it over those main drains because it'll suck against the main drain over there, and then it'll just kind of mess with stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, you should just be able to run. Yep, suck that leaf up.
And what about the stuff that gets like right there around the outside of the drain? If I get
Those?
it just close enough with the wheels, will that
What
kinda
I would
draw it in,
suggest is you have a brush. Do you have a brush? Okay, so before you do this action, shut the pump off and then brush that stuff away from the main drain so that it's somewhere else, and then use this to, and you can actually feel here, you can feel like a slight vibration.
Yeah.
So that's it drawing stuff up.
Okay.
So you should be able to,
You got
I
mine
just
stone,
sucked up
stop it.
those little leaves, and then you can move him.
While
Don't.
it's running, I'm gonna go get that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let me get out of your way.
I was hoping they would call, because I came in and ordered the new power unit. He's like, it might come from Georgia, it might come from Israel. So he's like,
Hard to say.
I'm not sure yet.
So yeah, there you go. So it's drawing it up. And then don't worry about pulling the head up and all that. Just as long as you don't pull it out of the water, you're going to be okay. Yep, there you go. So that's how you sweep your pool. And then remember that when you do that, everything's going to get sucked into the pump basket. So once you're done sweeping everything up, you'll want to clean the pump basket.
Yeah, and that's what I don't know.
Yep, well, I'll show you that.
Like this, now that it's got suction, that is great. Like I said, they were trying to troubleshoot stuff over the phone, and no one would ever come out. And then when they'd come out but wouldn't give me a day, they'd show up, and obviously I'm not here.
Right, and then
I'm like,
what's
look,
the
you still
use
haven't
of
trained
that?
us, so I didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
Other than you.
Well, yeah, if you call us, I mean, we'll get out.
Well, we've been, ever since we had this installed in that first year, we come to you for all of our
Cameras.
shock and
Okay.
everything.
Yep.
All right, so it's
So that's how you do that. And then when you're done, just leave that at the bottom of the pool. Go open the other skimmer, open the main drain up wide, and then you can remove this and it won't suck air. And
we'll walk up and do that.
okay. So yeah, you can just leave him in the bottom of the pool. And in the shallow end, it's a lot easier for the pole not to try to drag in the water.
Well, since the prowler's not working yet, I'm walking it around the other side while we're heading that way anyway.
Well, see, your hose is long enough to where you can almost get your whole pool just from the
Oh
deep
yeah,
end.
it's okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm not gonna get
Okay.
that from there. So.
all right. All right, and then I'll show you. So once you're done, let's say you're done sweeping. And the whole reason we're doing all these steps is just to avoid that pump from sucking a bunch of air and then you have
Okay,
to
can I
restart the
ring your
system.
doorbell once I'm gone?
Because it is uphill a little bit, but that's not uncommon.
Yeah.
So the pump's built to be able to handle it.
Okay, yeah, the guy who came out,
Jenny,
he was like, yeah, you need a new pump. It's gonna cost you probably about $2,500.
The one you have, that's one of the nicer pumps you can get.
Jenny,
Yep.
I might not
So,
come
okay.
back out.
So now we want to remove the sweep hose. So all you have to do is open the main drain back up completely. Open the other skimmer back up completely. There we go. And then now you the normal operation, and you can take that hose off and that adapter plate. You can take that out, and there's enough suction points to where it's not going to suck air because it just draw from the main drain, draw from the other skimmer.
Okay.
So and then to clean your pump basket.
Can you step out of the way in?
No, she's in. So you'll just turn the pump off.
Okay.
Oh, this display not active, so you gotta do it over here. 'Cause you have control.
Oh, hey, Em, can you go get me the pause that video?
Got this open. There's a little button right here that says filter pump. So you'll just turn him off. And get in here. That's it. So now he's off. So then you'll come back over here, and this is to clean the pump or the filter. And then the easiest way to do this is to shut these valves so that it doesn't have such a hard time priming back up. Because once you open the pump basket or the filter, it's going to let air into these pipes, and then the water will want to find its way back to the pool. So if you shut these, so that's off. If you can see there, this pipe's off. And now this one's off. So now what it does is, it's sort of like if you put your finger over a straw in a cup of water, and you can lift it up and it holds that water. So now the water's trapped here, here, and here. So when you go to restart, that pump doesn't have to try to draw it from all the way down there. Because when you clean your filters and you spray them off, it's going to take you a while.
Okay.
So go ahead and leave these shut, and then that way when you go to restart, it'll be a lot easier for the pump. Then you're going to let air into the system because there's still pressure in here, and you want to let some of the water that's in this tank back to the pool. So you just twist this open. You'll actually be able to hear the whistling. That's the water going back to the pool. As soon as that whistling goes away or gets quiet, then you know that all the water's left this pad and gone back to the pool, except for the water in the front, which we want to keep there. It may take it a minute just because it's a pretty big tank. But then once that, and it doesn't all have to go away, so, but it will eventually. So to open this, what I do is just palm strike this, and you could use like a rubber mallet if it gets tight or something like that, but most of the time you can just do that, and that's it. You open that, some water will come out because it's the water coming out of that tank. Lift this off, set it aside, pull your basket out,